Hello, everyone. Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. How are you doing? Happy Monday. As you know, we are a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Poola Guy, the chickens, all of us here at Sussex Squad. Welcome, 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 my friends. I see a few of you in the chat. Hello, hello, hello. Hope you guys have all had a fantastic weekend whatever it is you did on the weekend. So let me just say hello to my friends in the chat. Hello, our awesome moderator, Church Nelly. How are you? And Miss Emoji Queen over here is giving thumbs up all the way from South Carolina. Hello, 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 my friend. I'm so happy you're here. Who else is here? Yes, Church Nelly's like, bravo, squaddies who donated and spread the words about the kaboom. Yes, well done, everyone. And we'll get back to that in a second. But yes, absolutely. It's been a fantastic, fantastic time with this fundraiser. Let's see. Adorable is here. Hello, Adorable. And Olive is here. And Fancy Fancy. And Salima is here. And Black Queen and Rosa. Who else is here? And I'm going down. Let's see who else. Oh, Karen M, our awesome moderator, is here. Hello, Karen M. And Kanitha. And Nakathula. Hello. Val is here. Val Rich and Marvin. And Elaine. And who else is here? And whoever else comes and join us, we will get back to them and we will say hello to them as we go on. But hi, guys. So yeah, today is one of those days. It's just like so many things are happening. Our faves, one is in the UK and the other is in Montecito, we're assuming. Hopefully hanging out under a tree over there. And Harry, as we know, is today in the UK, recovering from, traveling from California. 8-hour time difference there. So there's a lot of jet lag happening there, I'm assuming, and I'm sure. And so he is resting up for his to go to court tomorrow. And of course, there's a bit of drama about whether he was supposed to be in court today. And, people are upset. And he was, and the reporter's like, Harry didn't show up for his court day today. And it's just a whole bunch of nonsense. But anyway, so we'll get back to all of that in a second. But our faves, I'm assuming Harry is sleeping. Again, there's an 8-hour time difference between the UK and California. So for Harry, this is very, very early in the morning, and UK is way in the evening. It's probably early evening now in the UK. It's about, I'm assuming, about 5 o'clock there. And Harry's like, I'm just waking up. Y'all carry on without me. I love it. So, and obviously yesterday, our wonderful, wonderful baby Lilibet was her birthday. And I'm just like, oh. So whatever they did yesterday, of course, we have no idea. We don't know. And I'm happy not knowing. I'm happy that they are, whatever it is they did, had a wonderful time celebrating our little not so baby anymore, Lilibet, Princess Lilibet, shall we say. And, so whatever it is they did, I'm sure they had fun doing it. And I am very happy to not know. I'm very happy to wait until she's 18 to see a picture of her. I am very happy that they are just not, they don't feel obligated to be posting pictures of their children online because, it'll be a feeding frenzy and it's just opening up their kids for all kind of comments about their children. And so I'm just happy that they're just keeping their children private. And until they're 18, I am perfectly, others don't feel the same. Some people feel like, oh, I want to see them. And it's cute. I mean, I love the pictures that they had shared with us. I love what we saw in the Harry and Meghan documentary. Obviously, kids grow so fast and their face and their features change so fast as they grow. So what we saw last year, and Lilibet, I'm sure, does not look like this anymore, and Archie does not look like, even from the Harry and Meghan docuseries. And they were very careful in a lot of those photos, the older photos, or the older when they were older is to sort of, photograph them or film them from the back or with a hat on or something, so you don't see their face. And so very good, because there are crazy people out there that would, you never know. So kudos to them for keeping their kids private. I hope they do. I mean, if they choose to share, that's fine. That's, their prerogative as well. But I am happy to not see the kids. Let them just keep, maintain their privacy. And so, but we celebrated yesterday. The squad celebrated big time, like huge. We had so much fun. Lilibet was trending most of yesterday, and the squad just blew it out. I'm telling you. We blew it out this morning. I checked our Kaboom page, and we are $131,466, which was like an hour ago, I think, or probably 40 minutes ago that I screenshot this. So I'm sure it's probably more by now. So it's just, again, the goal was 20,000. And you give Scursed Squad a goal of 20,000, it's just like, we could do that in like a naughty, like 20 minutes, we could raise $20,000. I mean, in 1 month from May 4th to yesterday. And it's so funny. I was awake until like about almost 2 a.m. And I saw like Royal Suda was on, and she's like, yeah, it's not midnight yet in California, so we're still raising funds. And it was wonderful. It was wonderful that we were up just like really, still raising money at like, we're New York is like 3 hours ahead of LA or California. So it was just wonderful to just see everyone just come together. And this is the most money we have raised last year. When we did this for their birthday, it was for CamFed. I think last year was CamFed, and we raised 129,000. That was the most we had raised, and so this one just blew it out, and so it's like now $131,466. I mean, Sussex Squad, you are amazing. I mean, I hope you're giving yourselves a huge round of applause, whooping it up, screaming, shouting, however you celebrate. It is amazing, absolutely amazing. And to see what we were able to do in a month and raising all these funds. And I think what I'll do, either I'll post it on our community page or the next episode. Royal Suda, actually, she did like a matchup between the different fundraisers we've done and just how much. And I think we're now raised either close to or about $1 million for different charity organizations, since we've been a part, since Sussex Squad started raising funds from, again, it started from the baby shower, Archie's baby shower. So baby Sussex baby shower. And so it is just amazing. I am blown away. It is just like, wow. So no matter what was happening yesterday with all kind of nonsense, we were really, celebrating this, because, Sylvia's like, yep, Sussex Squad rocks. I am happy. I'm so happy that we're on the right side of history. I'm telling you, it is amazing. Maverick. Oh, it was Maverick. You just jumped away from me there. Sussex Squad rules. Yes, we do. Maverick's like, we're awesome. God is great. Yes, yes, yes. Angela says, we raised over $1 million, including Meghan and Harry matched for CamFed. Yes. So we're all over, because I did see that. So next one, I'll bring in what she had posted. So it's just fantastic. And Leslie Ann is like, whoa, 131. Whoa, yes, yes, yes. I mean, the squad is amazing. Of course, others are on the other side of history, are like, they're very upset that we're doing this, because of course we do this and it shows them up. So that's why one of them was like, where's that money going to? And that's when Kaboom, posted that all 100% of it is going to Kaboom to build play spaces for children. So yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Oh, well, hello to you, Paul. How are you? I'm happy you're here. Connie is here. Hello, Connie. And who else? Oh, Anita's here and Sylvia's here. Oh, Sylvia, I think I got you before. Did I? Bright Eyes PBJ and Carolyn. Hello, guys. Just popping in there. If I missed anyone, I'll try to find everybody that I missed. Leslie Ann is here. Hello, Leslie Ann. She says, if William and Kate fans stop their hate and focus on favorites, maybe their charities might, most of them might still be open today. Very true. A lot of their charities close. So, yeah. What is that? Where is my emoji next to my name? Where is my emoji next to my name? I have no idea. I don't know. I'm so sorry, Maverick. I cannot help you with that one. I have no idea. Sometimes the internet, confuses me too. Today I'm having very much computer problems. I spilled, that don't bring water next to your computer. Pedal did not heed that. So now most of my keyboard is not working because I spilled water. I'm like, so I think I have to take my computer in to fix my keyboard because some of the keys are not working because I put water, actually not water, but tea, is drinking tea next to my computer, and you're not supposed to do that, and I did, and now I'm paying the price. So there you go. My problem. So anyways, so there's that. That's awesome. So congratulations again, Sussex Squad. And Kaboom is like, thank you to everyone who has donated and supported this campaign. We are floored by the generosity of this amazing global community. I'm telling you, everyone who has, we've done these campaigns for, are just blown away by the generosity of the Sussex Squad, that is worldwide. And and again, thank you to the Sussex community, all the people that's part of that put together this fundraiser and sort of minded it and got it to where it is. And it is amazing. Thank you to every one of them. I don't know all the people from the squad who put this fundraiser together and all the others, really. Thank you all for doing an amazing, amazing job in connecting with Kaboom and all the other organizations as well, but connecting with them and really, they're involved in it. They're excited about it. So it has just been an amazing, amazing experience to be part of this and raising funds, and knowing also too that all the kids that are going to be benefiting from this. So kudos to everyone involved. Absolutely wonderful. What else is happening? Well, today, away from that wonderful news and stuff, we are over in Shutter Island, and we learned today that Harry, again, as we were saying earlier, Harry landed, he flew overnight to the UK, so he's there, and I'm assuming sleeping, sleeping off that flight, 10 hours or 12 hours or however many hours it takes to get from California, I guess, depending, from California to London. So he is there sleeping that off. And so last week we, or was it a couple of episodes ago? I forget. Which would have been last week anyway, so there you go. I posted this from Royal Suitor. She had posted like the proceedings, like how it's going to go this week. Last week they took off, and then it was going to start up this week with Harry's case. And so and she gave us this rundown to the point. She says the unlawful information gathering trial against the Mirror is on hiatus this week, which was last week. Harry is scheduled to appear in person in London High Court to give witness testimony on June 6th and 7th. We've known that for a long time, that he's coming Tuesday, June 6th, Wednesday, June 7th. And one of the big things I was laughing at the other day when I posted this, or when I brought this in, was that, they were trying to figure out how they should address Harry, which I didn't even know was a thing, but you'll find out later why that's a thing, because my thing is, well, he's Prince Harry. Just, address him as Prince Harry. And so, part of this, it says they initially appear to opt for your grace. I'm like, your grace? Why would you be addressing him as your grace? Followed by sir, before agreeing to settle on the final discussion before he begins his testimony. I hope Harry just say, call me Harry. And just like, I'm like, your grace? Like, that doesn't even make sense to me. At least it didn't make sense until, I saw what I saw today. But part of this, PA, which I talked about last week because I was trying to figure out, well, exactly when is Harry going to be in the UK? Because again, baby Lily's birthday was yesterday. And so part of it was just like, well, when is he going to come? And so it says Harry, and this was from PA last week. It says Harry is due to return to UK for a large for latest stage of court fight over the hacking. He will take to the witness box in the trial brought alongside other high-profile figures seeking damages from the Mirror News Group, MGM, over alleged unlawful information gathering, including phone hacking at its titles. The Duke is due to attend court for the opening of his case against MGM on Monday and is expected to enter the witness box on Tuesday. So from this, I was just like, well, is he coming on Monday? And I wasn't sure. And I kept going back and forth because I'm like, well, if he's going to be in California with Lily's birthday and, you're thinking of a flight, by the time he gets to the UK, which is exactly what ended up happening, it's going to be too late to go to court because, you think of jet lag and all of that stuff. How is he going to do both? And I was thinking, well, are they going to do Lily's birthday the day before so he can leave early? I couldn't figure it out. But what was always clear was that he was supposed to enter the witness box on Tuesday. That wasn't a question. And so flash forward to today, and that picture on the side really really made me laugh. But in court today, apparently, the justice, one of our squaddies posted this from Chris Ship. Again, Chris Ship blocked me, so I can't read his tweets. Chris Ship and many others, and you'll see others like this RTE, which is I think an Irish news outlet, or is it Irish or Scottish? I forgot. I think it's Irish. Sorry, Irish. Anyway, it says, Chris Ship says, Judge Justice Fancourt said he was a little surprised that Harry would not attend court, given he asked the witness to be available the day before their evidence was due in case things could start sooner. Harry is suing the newspapers claiming journalists acted unlawfully. And, RT is saying that the judge was surprised that about Harry's court absence. And one of the things that was happening is because, the judge had said, be ready the day before you have to go on the witness stand, just in case, the opening statements from the lawyers run, that it's not as long and it doesn't take up the whole day, then we could start questioning you, the witness, on that day instead of waiting for the next day. And of course, Harry is there today. And so that became a whole big hubbub because everyone is expecting, well, at least the British press is expecting Harry to be there. So all of their reporters show up and all of their cameras show up. This is part of their camera crew show up. I just saw a photo of where they have delivered all of these, what are these barrier things in front of the court? So they're making sure when Harry gets there tomorrow, the press or anybody else can't get close to him. So it's just a whole big mess. So they're all showed up at court expecting Harry to be there, but it's a situation that Harry doesn't, yes, the judge says, he asked the witness to be available, but that doesn't mean the witness have to be available. It's not a command that he's available, to be there. And especially when you're flying in from another country or another continent, really, and so. But of course, if you look at the reporting, is Harry missed his first court date, and the judge is miffed, and the judge is angry, and they are claiming that Harry wastes the court's time. I mean, there's no waste of time. There is the I'm sure the Harry's attorneys is going to stretch out their opening statements. They have what I think 35 different things that they are charging the Mirror with. They could spend the whole day talking about those things, so that way there is no waste of time for anything. What ended up happening with this whole thing and why it became this is that the Mirror, instead of taking the regular amount of time, I guess, to present their case, they rush things through to make it look like Harry is wasting time. They rushed it, and so that they can have extra time, whatever. And Harry is like, I'm not scheduled to be there, even though the judge said. But the BBC kind of cleared it up a little bit, and just kind of what happened. And they were like, oh, the judge is a little surprised, and the MGM or the Mirror News Group, they are a little surprised, and it's nonsense. And so BBC sort of give us a little insight into what is happening. Says the Prince Harry judge a little surprised by the Duke's High Court absence. Says meanwhile, this is part of an article. Says meanwhile, the judge, Justice Fancourt, said he was a little surprised to hear the Duke would not be attending court on Monday. He added that he had given an earlier direction that witnesses should be available, not must be. They should be, so suggestion B should be available on the first day of the individual case, just in case, there is time to give evidence. And if I'm a witness and I'm like, that's not fair on the witness that they have to sit there wondering if they're going to give evidence in such a big case, that they have to sit there waiting. It's like, oh, okay, am I going to be understand today? That's a lot on a person mentally, to have to sit there not knowing if they're going to give evidence. And, you never know what the defendants are going to throw when they do their opening statements, that you have to sit there and, basically you're playing right into their hands, and they could intimidate you and all of that stuff. And you're sitting there on your hand and pins and needles, wondering if you're going to have to testify today when you might not even be ready to do mentally. And so I'm glad Harry personally stayed away. I'm glad it's like, you're going to come and we're going to have a fresh day tomorrow. I'm going to sleep, relax, and then I'm going to come in there fresh. And we hope that, Harry is okay. And I'm sure he would have talked to his lawyers and basically do a mock trial for what questions could come his way. And, spoken to his therapist and coaches and all of those people to help prepare him. Again, this is a big deal. It's the first time a royal in like 130 years can be on the witness stand. And so I'm assuming that he would be prepped and all of that stuff. And good for him. Good for him is in not going and staying home and sleeping. And so that way tomorrow when he goes on stand, he'll be a lot better prepared. So good for him. Of course, on the other hand, you kind of don't want to tick off the judge because there's not a jury trial. So that's the judge that's going to decide. So you don't want to get on his bad side by, it's like, so I'm sure tomorrow he might reprimand Harry for not being there. And then the media is going to play up on it, whatever. But you know what, Harry, kudos for you and not playing into that game. But again, I'm sure his lawyers are going to stretch this out so it doesn't, they don't get off early and, so that they can't do the narrative of, oh, Harry did waste the judge's time or anything like that. So we'll see what happened. But anyways, going on, it says, Andrew Green, KC, representing MGN, accused Prince Harry's side of wasting time, adding that it was absolutely extraordinary. We are told just last week that he is not available for day one of his own trial. So you see from this, they knew last week. So nobody should be surprised that Harry is not there, because why? They knew last week he wasn't going to be there, and of course, they're like, I don't know when exactly the judge, told them that he would like him to be there the day before, but last week they were told. So nobody is surprised by this, because they were told Harry's not going to be there day one. He's going to be home to, celebrating his child's birthday. So he's not going to be on the day one when it's witness testimony when the lawyers are giving their opening testimony. So they knew that. So there's no surprise there. And then it goes on, it says, Mr. Sherburne, who is Harry's attorney, said that the Duke had flown in from Los Angeles after his daughter's birthday, and added he is in a different category from 3 other claimants due to his travel and security arrangements. So there's some travel stuff and security stuff that had to work out there. He also criticized MGN for not calling certain witnesses, including journalists like Piers Morgan, etc., to give evidence. And I laughed when I saw the end of it. It says, nearly half the public section of the court emptied after confirmation the Duke would not be appearing on Monday. So they all went there to see Harry. Never mind that just because Harry isn't there, the court case is going on. That, you know, the lawyers are presenting opening testimony. So you think if these people cared about this, you know, I could understand, you know, some of the tabloids going, whatever, but I would think and I would hope that so-called legit reporters stayed in that courtroom so they could hear the opening arguments from the lawyers. So it's very, very interesting. They're like, oh, they're having an attitude because Harry's there. I'm like, look, Harry told you he was not going to be there since last week. You knew this. This is not a surprise to anybody. And it's been official that his time to be on the witness stand is Tuesday the 6th and Wednesday the 7th. So I don't know what the issue is. He's not going to be there. He's not there. And I'm glad again that Harry did not decide to show up there, because I can't imagine for something like a big case like this, why you would want a witness or somebody who's going to take the stand for the first time in such a big case to be sitting in a courtroom there, probably on pins and needles, you know, not knowing if they're going to be tested. That's a lot to put on somebody's, you know, brain. It's unfair on the person. No matter what side it is, it's completely unfair on the person. And so that gives the opposing counsel give them the advantage. So good for Harry. It's just like, no, I'm not coming. I'm going to stay home and sleep. Good for him. Take the time and sleep. And tomorrow, you know, I'm sure he'll be in a better case of mind. And they could put somebody else on, you know, one of the other people on the stand and let them do this afternoon if they want to, or the lawyers continue their opening case. Joyce, thank you so much for your donation. I appreciate it. It says, hello, a little late, but here. You're right on time. Thank you. Whatever you missed, the replays there, you can always go back and get the replay. So thank you so much for your support. So, and you know, the funny thing is with the UK, and that's why is one of the reasons I find it so hard to trust anything coming out of the UK, whether it's the royals, whether it's the government, whether it's not that America is any more trustworthy here, but there's the way how the UK work is very, very weird. And you know, again, with the royal family, the press, the government, and the court system. And it's just so weird. And you find out, the more you find out about this, you realize how much the royal family influences all of these different, you know, whether it's organization or institution or whatever, the royal family have their claws in every one of these. And it makes it so weird and awkward. And so for me, I just feel like I can't trust any of you because you're all serving the royal family. And it's just like, you're all appointed by them. So how do you make a fair assessment or a fair decision that isn't influenced by the royal family? Case in point, this case. And it's just like, seriously? What is this? You know, and this is from The Guardian yesterday. It says, Diana, Meghan, and the tabloid press, Harry finally gets his day in court. And this is part of the article. It talks about the legal system and how weird it is when it pertains to the royal family. It says one of the problems is that the British legal system is run in the name of the crown. That's right. It's run in the name of the monarchy, which is potentially awkward, at least in terms of maintaining the appearance of neutrality. Exactly. For instance, MGN, which is the Mirror Group, the Mirror paper that Harry is suing, the MGM trial is being held in the King's Bench division of the court. which to Prince Harry is a bit like saying Pa's bench or, King Charles' bench, and features a number of king's counsels on both sides of the dispute. And so it's like you have lawyers on the Mirror news group side of it that are counsels or lawyers for the king, and they're lawyers on Harry and the other claimant side, who are counselors for the king. And you're like, I don't, I'm like, this makes no sense. How do you guys come up with maybe someone on here, one of our squaddies on here, could explain this to me and to, think of it, explain it as you're explaining it to a 2-year-old, because I'm so confused as to how they could come up with, as they said, have any appearance of that they're neutral. You're serving the king. Case in point, Andrew, the counsel for MGN, he's the one that, Harriet's team is wasting time. He's one of the king's lawyers. And so, with British, especially these royalists, and they're representing the crown, and they're on the other side coming at Harry, he's going to come at Harry with everything, because a lot of them, Harry left and wrote spare, and it's like, it's hard for a lot of them to separate themselves, and it's like, Harry is going against the royal family and all of this stuff. And it's really weird. It's like, how do you separate your personal feelings for the crown and professionally and think professional? And maybe people can do it. I would just have a hard time. And especially, again, the trial is being held in the King's Bench division of the High Court. This all has to do with the royal family. They have their claws up in all of this. And that's why it's awkward to maintain appearance of neutrality. Because how can you be neutral when you're basically serving the king? And his son is going up against, this paper who the king has a relationship with, because the paper is part of the king's royal rota, who they appointed to their royal rota. And so it's just like, what is this mess? What is this absolute mess? And here is Andrew Green Casey. He is the one that's coming. He's the one that's going to be cross-examining Harry as well, and he is gunning for Harry. So please pray. So he works for this law firm called Blackstone Chambers, and he is the leading attorney for the Mirror News Group coming against Harry. And it's again, he is one of the King Charles's lawyers, and he works for this group. And it's like, in a Blackstone group, you look under there, this is Shahid Fatima. Shahid Fatima also works for Blackstone Chambers, but she is Harry's lawyer on his security case. The security, with Harry suing going against the government for taking his security away. Well, she is Harry's leading attorney there. But she also works for the same Blackstone Chambers with this guy who is suing Harry in the other court case. And he's also the king's counsel. And it's just like, how is this possible? None of this makes sense. I'm like, that's why nothing changes in this place, because this is a whole mess. This is like, I don't understand how this is allowed to happen. And again, maybe one of our wonderful squaddies who understand the legal system in the UK could explain it to me like you're explaining it to a 2-year-old, because I'm just like, yeah, exactly, light side of the moon. How is this not conflict of interest all over the place? And again, they're in the King's Council, and it's just like, this is a whole mess. And so it's really, really, really weird, because I'm like, how can I trust a judge when you're sitting there serving at the whatever of the king, and you're in his court, and you have his barrister, and then on one side you have his on the other side. I mean, if I'm Harry, how can I be sure that I'm getting the best counsel when some of them are his father's lawyers? I'm so confused. It is kangaroo court. It is completely kangaroo court. It is just craziness. Joanne is like, it's called conflict of interest. Serious conflict of interest. Serious conflict of interest. It is just amazing to me. Oh, thank you, Leslie. I'm gonna have you under the bed. Leslie's like, I got you, Petal. Thank you. As a 2-year-old, I want as a 2-year-old because I am so confused reading this thing, and I was just like, I don't understand why this is allowed to happen. I can't imagine this, going down in the US and this be okay. It'd be like, no, 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 no. This is ridiculous. I'm like, no wonder justice is so far away from people because it's like, yeah. Anyway, moving on. I'm just confused. Moving on to an entirely different subject. I'm sure you guys saw this over the weekend. Jeremy Clarkson, yes, that Jeremy Clarkson, who wrote that nasty article about Meghan, and yes, the IPSO still has not ruled. Of course, they are waiting for people to forget about it, and then they'll rule that he did nothing, which is what they do. I mean, I know Byline investigates. They are monitoring it month by month, that we have heard nothing from the IPSO and don't expect them to do anything. But anyway, this Jeremy Clarkson, same one that Phillip Schofield supported when there was the backlash against him. Jeremy Clarkson, I have never seen a witch hunt like the Schofield saga. Yes, that Jeremy Clarkson. Clarkson suggests the public outrage at the former ITV host was due to homophobia. Lies. It's due to grooming a child. That's what the backlash is about. It's about grooming a child and then going on to have, quote unquote, a relationship with said child. Although Schofield said no, it didn't happen when he was a child, that it was legal, meaning that he's of age, doesn't mean he's right. It still means that he had the power over that kid, and so that's abuse of power, if nothing else. And so not only did Phillip Schofield go on television the other day and, invoking the name of Caroline Flack, claiming that, one, that he is suicidal. Again, I'm not in people's minds, so whether that's true or not, I'm going to leave that with him. I can't say he was not and he wasn't feeling those things because, again, I'm not in his mind. But he, and said, basically his family, his daughters are helping him, whatever. But he went on to, invoke Caroline Flack. And it's just like, oh, this is how Caroline Flack must have felt. I mean, that was so disgusting. It was so disgusting that he did that. It was unbelievable. It's the same man when Meghan have been spoken out about her, mental crises. They were, the last thing I heard from Phillip Schofield talking about it was telling them to shut up. And yet here he is, wanting people to have sympathy for him. And not only that, he even went further. I don't know how, maybe the other podcast talked about this, and or just in case you haven't seen, is one of the, I guess it's now his favorite tabloid, the one that he, when he came out of the closet, so to speak, he gave them the exclusive, and now they are getting all the exclusive. The Sun is now getting all the exclusives from Phillip Schofield. Don't be surprised if Phillip Schofield end up working at the Sun. That's a Rupert Murdoch outlet, doing a show like Piers Morgan, because again, with these white men who do these kinds of things, and whether it's hacking, blagging, grooming, whatever it is they do, they always fail up. They always end up with multi-million-dollar contract somewhere in Rupert Murdoch empire, or one of those other empires like the Daily Mail or something. And yesterday, I mean, talk about, using Caroline Flack was gross enough. This man had the audacity, the nerve to bring out his elderly mother for a photo op, claiming Phil's heartbreak and his tender moment when he tells his mom why he got fired from ITV, which, by the way, I thought he was quit. Wasn't that the thing? Now they're saying, he breaks the news to his mom, and there were just cameras just happened to be there to catch the moment when he's sitting on a park bench with his mother, which, by the way, I'm like, that's your mother? Looks like your sister. And maybe it's just both of them have white hair. It's beautiful white hair. I love white hair. I'm actually trying to get white hair. But I mean, if I didn't know differently, I would have just thought they were brother and sister because they, they look about the same age. Anyways, yeah, so photographers from the Sun were hiding in the bushes just on the odd chance that Philip Schofield, or Scofield, sorry, I keep saying his last name wrong, that Philip Schofield would be hanging out on some park bench somewhere in the UK and, driving his mother in a car with him on the phone. And, they just happened to show up at that moment on the odd chance that all of this would happen. You know how those photo ops happen. They just show up and there you are. And the tender moment just happened, just like, a hallmark moment, and it's just like, are you serious? And one of the things, I mean, so many people have been calling out them. This is just, emotional manipulation. It's just he's been manipulating and manipulating and manipulating. And I think for me, it's like, look, if nothing else, with this mess has shown, it has given people insight into how he manipulates and how, this could have happened with the kid. Again, there are different schools at the what time. Some people said that, they met when the kid was about 10. Some people say it's 12. Some people say it's 15. Whatever age it was, they met when he was an underage child. He was underage. And whatever happened, it's like, from seeing how Philip Schofield has manipulated since this whole drama started, it really gives you insight of how he works. And this kind of emotional manipulation, so which made me believe, I'm like, is this some of what he put on that kid? Because if he's just with, I mean, it's there for the world to see. And so it's just like, wow. And some of his friends in the media have, fallen for it. And they are like, be kind, consider his emotional state, consider his mental health. This should be about kindness, about consideration. ITV had their whole drama. We talked about Alison Hammond, whole fake crying drama, all of them on ITV talking about mental health and, how we should consider him, that he's broken and he's going through all of this stuff, and he's already said and he's already apologized, and apparently it's not illegal what he did. It's just an older man and a younger man, and it was consensual, and so we should really care and we should consider him, which usually means, he's again getting a job. He's basically securing his future to get a job in another outlet maybe. And the same ITV who was trying to get every single person on board with forgiveness towards Philip Schofield, to consider his mental health, consider where he is the same ITV this morning who brought on, and Good Morning Britain, brought on two of the most hateful people to talk about Harry's court case and to talk about Meghan and Harry. This is the same news outlets. It's trying to get the world to support and to consider the mental health of Philip Scofield, who by all reports groomed this kid from when he was a child. This is the same ITV that brought on the two most hateful people. The two people that they know will criticize, hate, pull out the most nastiest things about the Sussexes to interview about Harry's court case. And obviously and if you don't know who this is, that's Angela Levin and Tom Bauer. Tom Bauer, who wrote this nasty book about Meghan. And so it just really shows how despicable these people are in every sense of the word. There is just no, I mean, like, I am at a loss as to come up with what to describe these people. They're like animals. There's nothing in them that is human. It just, again, apologies to the animals, because and then they sit there, especially like with, I think Susanna Reid, I think her last name is Susanna. She's the same one that sat there for all these years with Piers Morgan as he ripped Meghan to shreds from year to year to year, and she's still there. And trying to pretend like she is, I saw a clip of this interview thing, and trying to pretend that she's the reasonable one. And it's so despicable. what these people are, what they do, it is just, and that's how it shows, like they don't consider, especially Meghan, as human. They don't consider her as human. They don't consider her humanity. These are, again, the same people wanted us to consider Phillip Schofield's humanity, consider his mental health. Have no qualms about bringing these two people on to destroy people that they've been attacking for 7 years. So it is just, and again, ITV, same outlet. Unbelievable. So I'm going to keep going, and then I'm going to come into the chat for a bit. So we just have a few things more to cover. Yes, New Zealand apparently is one of those things with the Commonwealth. New Zealand apparently, I guess King Charles's birthday is coming up. His actual birthday is November, by the way, but his birthday celebration, as they did with Queen Betty, is coming up. And so in honor of his birthday, I guess he, did these honors, and the people, honor different people, like, for example, Jacinda Ardern. But the person that they chose for the highest honor, and one of the highest honor in the UK, in New Zealand, is this woman under this woman's picture there. When you're like, and I saw that, I was like, what? Yeah, Queen Camilla gotten one of the highest honors in New Zealand. And talk about why you need to become a republic. One of the names might have surprised Kiwis or New Zealanders on the King's birthday and coronation honors is Queen Camilla, who received the top honor. But what has she done to receive the accolade? It was announced on Monday morning Queen Camilla had been made an additional member of the Order of New Zealand, or ONZ, for her services to New Zealand in support of the King Charles III and his relationship with the country and promoting charities. The ONZ is the highest honor, with its ordinary members limited to 20 living persons at any time. The newly appointed queen has visited New Zealand as the Duchess of Cornwall, with the king as the King Prince of Wales on 3 occasions in 2012, 2015, and 2019. So she was there for those 3 different times, and now she gets the highest honor because when she was there, she met with different charity organizations. So just because she met with different charity organizations, whatever, she now has the New Zealand's highest honor. And you're like, that's why they need to become a republic. Because this is the kind of nonsense. You have all the people that has done amazing thing in your country, and this is who you're going to give New Zealand's top honor to. And apparently she's not the first in the royal family. The Queen's mother has held the title, the Queen has held the title, and Prince Phillip has held the title. So for whatever reasons, they're not giving this top honor to people from New Zealand. They've reserved their top honor for people that don't live in their country. And they've reserved it for royalty. So they might as well just say this is a royal, and it seems like the royals just, nominate each other for the role or appoint each other for that honor. Because again, it goes from Queen Mother, Queen, Prince Philip, and now Camilla. And it's just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And on top of that, we talked about the King's birthday. His actual birthday is November 14th. But in true royal style, they celebrate their birthday twice. So on June 17th, this month, is apparently the Jubilee. I'm sorry, not the Jubilee, the trooping. And they're going to be celebrating. So this is another event. Obviously, the royals or the British, they are all about their major events. So not only did you have the Jubilee last year, you had the big funeral, you had the coronation nobody asked for, and now they're coming up trooping the colors that, I guess it's a yearly thing in the UK. So they're going to be doing this big celebration for King Charles again. Again, there's a cost of living crisis in the UK. Yet you have all of these things where they're going to have the sovereign's birthday is officially celebrated by a ceremony of trooping the color, the King's birthday parade its statements read. So there's going to be a big parade again with, as you can see the picture at the bottom there, a big parade again. I mean, just last month we had a coronation nobody asked for, with all of this mess. Yet again, more money from the taxpayers is going to be going towards this as they celebrate the Queen's birthday. Just like, I'm telling you, poor people, just know that you're just always going to be poor. There's just no money for you, because the UK needs their money for all of these parades to celebrate King Charles. You know what I mean? You just have to understand, there's no money to feed you. I guess we know that your kids can't eat, don't have money for food and all that stuff. Yes, but they're parades. People need to see our pomp and pageantry. The parades. We can't focus on your food right now. So, yes. Unbelievable. And one of the almost final things I'm going to talk about before I jump into the chat is this. I think it was the last episode, or was it the episode before? I happened to, I saw this thing online where it talk about why we apologize or why we say sorry all the time for things that, sometimes there's something to be sorry about. So I was talking about that, and how it impacted me, and, ways that instead of saying sorry, this is completely not royal in any way, shape, or form. I just completely jump and change subjects here on you. And so instead of saying sorry, you could be like, thank you for this. And just make, it's just a lot more, in not giving away your power by always saying sorry, especially when there's nothing to be sorry about. And so we did that a couple of episodes ago. I think it was a couple of episodes ago. And then yesterday, this dropped in my box. Like, I subscribed to the Oprah Insider. And so you can get these really nuggets from Oprah, I think every week, or how many of the times it drops in my inbox. And I happened to read this one, and it was just like, oh my goodness, we were just talking about this the other day. And it was about sorry and not saying sorry all the time. So it's a little lengthy, but I'm going to read it. And I'll also post it in our community page. So, if you want it, you can also read it as well. So I'll read some of it, and I'm going to move our little subscribe button at the bottom there. Let's see. Just so that way I can get to read it. And again, if you are here and you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Click the notification bell at the bottom so you know when we drop a video. I'll put it back at the end. So this is what this says from Oprah about us and apologizing and saying, I'm sorry all the time. So this is from Oprah, wisdom. I want to talk to you about something. Are you one of those people who say, I'm sorry, even when you haven't done anything? I want to ask you, why are you apologizing? Why do you say sorry when you have absolutely no reason to apologize? I was in a conversation with somebody this week who kept saying, I'm sorry, even when moving past me. They would say it. Even when moving past me, they would say it. So I was just like, why do you keep saying I'm sorry when you just want to get by? Or I'm sorry, but I can't tell you this idea I have. Studies show that women do this way more than men. And why? Because we have been taught that by our culture and society that it's our job to make other people feel comfortable. But when your intention is pleasing other people, they get pleased, and then you just end up getting upset and resentful. So how can you begin to stop sorrying away your power? Remember this basic truth. You have a divine right to hold space in any conversation, in any room in this world, because you alone are enough. This week, I would like you to be mindful when you're about to say, I'm sorry. If you haven't actually done anything wrong or done something wrong, skip the apology. You'll be fascinated at how that one change, which seems small, can begin to boost your confidence in a big way. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, because even if you don't do it, I know people who do. And so I just thought it was so fantastic that we were talking about this, and then got this from Oprah. I was like, Oprah's reading our mind. But again, it is so important. I have to catch myself all the time, because I'm always like, I'm sorry. And it's like, why are you sorry? Why are you saying this? And so I really love how she talks when she said, that we have a right to hold space in any conversation, in any room, because you alone are enough. And I just absolutely love that. So thank you, Oprah, for confirming what we were talking about the other day. And so I'm going to post this in our community page as well. So that way, if you're one of the people that constantly give away your power by apologizing when you didn't even do anything wrong, this is for you, as it is for me as well. So anyways, what else? I think I got one more thing. Oh, I saw this again, have nothing to do with royals, but I just love that it says US Army pilot Millie Bailey. She served in World War II and is 103 years old. Show this beautiful woman some love. So if you've not heard of her, I gotta go research her as well. Please take a moment and Google her, and if there's a way to send her some love, just appreciating her. She was a US Army pilot, and I have such a soft space for people who served in the military, and she is 103 years old. And it's amazing. So if you've never heard of her, which I hadn't, definitely just Google and learn about her, and just honor her in some way. So thank you, Millie Bailey, for your service. And so I'm going to jump in the chat. We have one more thing, but I'm going to do it at the end. So let's see. I'm going to jump into the chat for a minute, and give me 1 second. I have to check something. Give me one moment as I okay. All right, so let's see what you guys are saying. I know I talked a whole lot there. Hang on 1 second as I go up. I'm just scrolling up to try to find. I'm trying to go up as far as possible. Compton Caliga says, Chucky's spending big money. Oh, yeah. I mean, again, this is not about this is not about taking care of the people at all. This is all about pumping pageantry. The tripping over the color. Tripping over the color. I love that. I absolutely love that. Yeah. Oh, you know what, Leslie, actually, I'm going to invite Leslie on for a few minutes. Leslie, I'm going to put the chat on I'm going to put the link in the chat. So Leslie, if you're still with us, come on and join me for a few minutes. And so if you want to talk a little bit about Harry's case, so that's for Leslie. If you're here, we can chat with you for a couple of minutes, and you can tell us what you got out of what happened in the case. So let's see. Let's see. Kathy Gami says, just tuned in, fellow. Oh, I'm happy you're here, Kathy. She says, did Camilla not ignore the performance when they were in the UK on the Commonwealth Day? Yes, she did. Did she not brush past Charles holding onto her hat into the church? Yes, she did. And we talked about that and showed a picture of her doing it. Hey, Leslie, I see you there. So just hang on for 1 second. Thank you so much. Yes, she did. When they were performing out there, she definitely did brush past them and rushed in. She was trying to protect her hat and her head, I guess. And she did not even acknowledge the singers. Yes. Let's see. Jill says that New Zealand has a governor appointed by the royal family, represented as head of state, and likely the one to decide who gets what medals, titles, and honor in New Zealand. Yeah. It's always those people that put there by the royal family. They're just again, it's unbelievable to me, and they always just like, oh no, but that's an independent country. And it's just like, No, they're not, even though they're like, yeah, we have our independence, but unless you are a republic, you're not independent. That's like, one of those, I guess I always use this analogy of, this little kid, you see this little kid, nobody holding the hand, and they're very excited that they get to walk and they don't have to hold mommy and daddy's hands. But then you look and you see a little string attached to a little backpack on their back, and mommy and daddy are holding that little string. And for me, that's what the royal family is with these countries, with most of these Commonwealth countries that are not independent or republic, because they're like, yeah, see, I'm free, I can do what I want, but there's that string in the back there that's really controlling. You can only go as far as they allow you to go, and so no, you're not free. You're not independent. Let's see, a couple more before Leslie will come on, so hang on one second. A couple more. Marvin says, hi, Marvin Cato. Marvin says, why worry, Petal? The honor is so big to put Willie and Mumbles in their place. I guess. I mean, I'm just looking, if I was somebody from New Zealand, I'd be like, that's an issue. Why is she, how does she come in and get our highest honor just because she met up with some charity? Anybody could do that, so it just, yeah. I don't get it. Let's see, one more before we got Leslie on here. Let's see. Church Nelly says, if the British people don't mind starving at the expense of the monarchy, who are we as Americans to complain? You know what? You're so right, Church Nelly. We need to mind our own business. We need to mind our own business and let the British people deal with their mess. If they don't mind it, why should other people complain? Why should we be bringing it up? Yeah, that is right. Put us in our place. Thank you so much, Church Nelly. All right, so let's just bring in Leslie there for a minute. Leslie, how are you, my love?
I'm well. How are you?
I am good. I'm good. What's up? What is up?
Okay. Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to apologize to you and all the squatties for not being able to bring you an update last week. I do also have a medical background, and I got called into work to cover emergency shifts, and they were 12 and 14-hour shifts. So I worked all of last week and up until yesterday. So I
Well,
apologize I was
Leslie,
not
one,
able to
there's
get to
nothing to
that.
apologize for. They weren't in session last week because they took a week off.
Right, but I wanted to bring you the update for the week before. Uh,
That's fine. That's fine.
okay.
Whenever you can, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. So let me explain to you, like you said, in
Like a 2-year-old, yes, please.
like a 2 year. Okay. So the best is I'm going to use American analogies. So the presidential, or not the presidential, I'm sorry, the royal barristers
Mm-hmm.
are appointed and moved up through the ranks of the lawyers. Think of it as our U.S. judicial system.
Uh-huh.
Their job is to uphold the law and the Constitution as it is interpreted for the greater good of the whole.
Right.
Okay. So think of them as our judges. So it doesn't matter if a Republican or Democratic judge appoints you to that seat, you're not upheld to that president or that party.
Mm-hmm.
Same with the barristers. So
Right.
even though they work and they were appointed or they work for, appointed as part of the royal court or the highest honors that they have. And just so you know, Sherborne is too. He is actually the presidential barrister. So he is the highest of all, and he is defending Harry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I know it's kind of like conflict of interest and this and the other, but that's kind of how it works. And you just kind of think of it as the mindset of a UK person or British citizen looking at our, well, how can the Supreme Court be biased when they were mostly appointed by Trump and they're Republican and conservative? Because
Mm-hmm.
the law is the law, and they have to uphold the law for the good of the whole. And that's the basic, simple answer I can give you.
Right. Well, my question then become, because where my conflict became, where it became like a little bit muddled,
Hmm.
is that Andrew Green, that's the one that's going to, he's the lead counsel for the Mirror Group.
Right.
He is one of the king's counsel. He's one of the king's lawyers.
Yes.
And also on Harry's side, apparently, others are also part of that king's council. So they're all,
Right.
they are part of the king's team. So my thing is, like, they're in the king's court. They're all the king's lawyers, but the king's son is going up against the Mirror, who is a part of the Royal Rota that the king
Right.
appointed, one of the tabloid paper, the king
Right.
appointed to his Rota. And so
So
that's where I'm like, isn't this like a whole muddled mess of conflict?
no, because think of it, well, yes and no, but think of it this way. Just because they're part of the King's Council and they were appointed to the King's, so that means they handle all um, issues that has to do with the royal family, the royal court, the royal properties, they're all different barristers in different things. Some of them are real estate, some of them are this, but that is part of their job, just like being a barrister is part of their job. So they do not only work for the king and the royal family, they work for everybody. Does that make sense?
Right.
So think of it, let me see, how could I explain it? Think of it as if if the judge, okay, let me put it this way. Think of it as our circuit court judicial judges that were appointed by our last president that was Republican, Trump. Just because Biden is the president now, that doesn't mean they're still judges. They have to hear both sides in all cases,
right?
Not just ones that are brought up against Trump. Does that make sense? So
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah.
So instead of them appointing judges, they appoint barristers. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because I was thinking in terms of, say, that Kyle Rittenhouse case with one of the judges that Trump appointed. The reason why, and if you follow, I'm assuming you may have followed that case.
Yeah.
And the fact that Kyle Rittenhouse is walking on the streets as a free man, under no circumstance, I believe, if it was a judge appointed by anybody else, would Kyle Rittenhouse be on the streets walking around.
Right. I understand. But it's the same thing. It's the same thing in Ireland, just like the judge recently in I forget where it was, Texas, Arizona, that banned the medication that has been around for 22 years, and I won't say the word on your podcast because I don't want you to get dinged. That has been around for 22 years that is used for other things, but also used in the care of medical extraction. Then and then that was over, and he was a Republican judge appointed by Trump, and of course then the higher circuit judges and then the Supreme Court came back and said no, you cannot do that. You cannot overturn a federal FDA law regulation. You see what I'm saying? So there are checks and balances. So I'm assuming there's the same over there.
Okay.
Look,
you have a lot more confidence in them than I do, because I am like, for me, I'm like,
well, let me
y'all pledge allegiance to a king, and I see that and I run. I'm like, there's no way I can trust. And I've talked about this, about having a hard time trusting when they do the right thing. I am shocked, literally shocked. And again, I'm not saying, judges,
and you have to look at it too.
In spite of it, they can't. You have to go get you have to follow the letter of the law. I just see this. There's just so much sycophant, behavior in the UK that I'm like, it makes me really hard to trust anyone who. You see that behavior, like, for example, in the police, the Metropolitan Police Department, and how and it's just like, I can't really trust any of you to do the right thing. When it comes to the monarchy, you always side with the monarchy, and that's how for the things that I've seen, and I'm like, that's why I have such a hard time believing judges will do the right thing. And again, that's my lack of trust. It's not again, may not have anything to do with whether they can do their job or not. It's just my lack of trust in anything has to do where I see the royal family in or the monarchy in some way have their cause in.
And I understand that. I mean, just to give you, and I'm sure the squatties in the chat that are from the UK and the EU fully understand this. Uh, just all of this tabloid nonsense that is going on is going to start impacting tourism. I solo travel a lot. I've been all around the world, and I subscribe to different tourist advisors, newsletters and tours. And actually, for the first time that I ever seen in my last month's well, I got it the other day, but newsletter, UK was listed as one of the caution. It was in the caution state for single female minorities to travel solo.
Wow.
And I was like, wow. And the part of it was the corruption in the Met police, the unbiased and racial tensions between the fact of the Duchess of Sussex and also the court case. And it was just it was not advised not to, but it said cautionary. So cautionary is usually means like for us, like think twice if you want to go there by yourself.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you, Leslie. And
you're welcome.
Do you have an update as to what's going on in the court?
Girl, let me tell you, it was fire. It was fire.
Okay.
Actually, it only ended like
Leslie F. What happened in court today?
Okay. So first things first, MGN tried to bring this up. So they were upset that Harry was not present in the courtroom. So let's get that straight. The judge was a little bit surprised, but it wasn't that big of a deal. I got that from an insider because of the fact that Harry was actually in London and can be called to the courtroom within a few minutes. They say estimated 15 to 30 minutes he would be there. Okay. Opening statements were today. So opening statements is not really like opening statements like we think in our court case. It's kind of like a review of what each witness statement has said. So the difference between our court cases and the UK court cases is in the UK, they present a witness statement. That's called the chief statement, okay? Or the statement in chief. Where here we bring the person up and both sides get to question. Right. There they do the statement first. The attorney reads the statement into the books, and then the witness shows up just for cross-examination. Okay. So then Sherborne, I keep saying Sherborne. He was on fire. He brought out all the guns this morning.
David Sherborne is Harry's counsel.
Right. So the first thing he comes out with is, let me set the record straight, that this has been, there was no holds barred and nothing was beyond approach. Okay, this is how he against MGN. He started out way from the beginning. He brought out the first thing he brought was Princess Diana, and the whole courtroom went silent. This is what I heard because I had a friend that was sitting in the courtroom. The whole courtroom went silent and brought out the fact that at the time of the first phone hacking in 1995, he was only 11 years old, and they hacked Diana's phone. Then he brought up, because that was when they got divorced, remember? And then he brought up the fact that when she passed away. So he broke that timeline in, and he started pushing out how these things had to come from phone hacking, because at that time there was no, as per the statement that they had 2 weeks ago from the MGN attorneys, they didn't have private investigators on the books back then in 95 and 96. So how else did they get the information but through phone hacking? And the fact that Princess Diana was very, very conscious about people being around her, the fact that she only met with her son for 20 minutes and that was written out into an article means that the phones had to be hacked. Oh, he killed it. He went through every little thing. He took everything that MGN said about that it could have came from other sources. He said it couldn't have come from other sources. Now they're calling it UIG instead of like what is it, unappropriate investigative whatever. They're just calling it UIGs. So he stated that in his statement, and he said that they were going to, by the own submission, he brought in things that MGN said, their own submission, that there was no way. So that was the first one. Everybody was like, whoa. Okay. And then he also brought up the fact that the legal team already knew about the phone hacking, and that up until he's pointed out last month, they were still settling accounts from 2011, 2012 cases that were brought, you know, that people have brought, and 2015 and 2016, because you have 6 years from the time that to bring a case. Okay.
Right.
So because the settlement and information stuff didn't come out till 2015, Harry filed in 2020. So technically they had till 2021. Very strong presentation as to why he still had time to put into case. Andrew Green argued that all of the information that Harry has provided and the private investigator that they had on their side and Lisa was flimsy. And that it was all hearsay, and that they didn't prove that anything was brought up against hacked against Harry. Like the investigator that they had 2 weeks ago said, he never hacked Prince Harry's phone. Okay, so then Sherborne countered that statement, because he got time to go again, countered that statement by saying that what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Basically, he said, well, if this one was doing it for this and all of these, and it was widespread, because we already know Mirror has settled, Mail has settled, David Beckham was in court and had said he settled, and all of these people have settled, that it was widespread. It is not a large leap to assume that even though this investigator didn't, that another investigator that they had on their books didn't give them the information.
Right.
And it was like a couple of times, the observers, the people in court had to be told to calm down, because they were like, whoa, there was a couple outbursts, let's say, from the public that's in the chambers watching it. So as it ended up, that actually court went over to like 5:30 their time, which was like 12:30 our time. And like when I first got on your podcast, as of 38 minutes ago, they were still giving closing arguments.
Exactly. So Harry didn't waste anybody's time. They didn't need Harry today.
No. Exactly. And he pointed out that Harry had flown in overnight, and that he was resting at a nearby exclusive location, and that he could be brought into court within 15 to 30 minutes. So there was no need for them to be in, and the judge was fine with that. Of course, MGN argued that, they have 33 points, 33 cases of points that they have to cross, and they can't do it all in one day. And the judge kicked back and said, no, I'm giving you Tuesday and Wednesday. And then that he had some flexibility. He had built in some flexibility in the schedule in case it went over.
Right.
And then Sherborne then ended it with saying, by the way, out of all of this is only 33. It's a small sample of the 140
something. Yes.
Now it's 197.
Oh my God.
190. So they have more. Remember, they wanted to present 2 weeks ago, more evidence, and the judge said, no, we don't have more time to do that.
Yeah.
But he stuck it in there with the 197.
Oh, wow.
There's 50 something more. Okay. So that was amazing. And from what I understand, Sherborne just like whipped that courtroom and was just like on point, bomb after bomb after bomb. I can't wait to see the transcript. Bomb after bomb after bomb. But yes, it was a fire. They said it was probably one of the best presentations he had. He needed that week rest because he came back on fire.
Right. Yeah. I saw a picture of him going into the court looking very confident, I have to say.
Oh, and here's the other reason for the presidents of Harry's, how they should address Harry, because they are in the royal bench, his father's bench.
Yes.
Okay. The reason why, which I think is a fascinating strategy, and this is psychological play. The reason why they want Harry to be addressed as Your Grace, Sir, is to put that line of respect, because he wants to change. He wants the court and Andrew Green basically wants to mess up his strategy. You can't lay into this witness like any other witness, like a commoner. This is your grace.
Ah,
This is
okay.
sir. And he's going to use, I'm assuming, this is my alleging, that every time Green doesn't address Prince Harry as your grace or sir, he's going to say, objection, you need to, and just,
Okay. That
and
makes sense.
add that
Again, they're in
level.
the King's Court thing, so I
Right.
was
And
just
add
like,
that
oh,
level
well, that
of,
could be a thing.
yep, and add that level of respect. They don't want him calling him Harry,
Oh,
Prince,
okay.
the Duke. No, your grace, sir. Add that level to basically remind who you're talking to. You're
Right.
talking to the son of the sovereign of the blood
Right.
in the court case, in thing where you are part of, where you were appointed by his father. It kind of like boom. You know what I mean? That's what that's about.
Wow.
It's a psychological play, and that's all I have right now until I get the transcripts. But it was fire.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Leslie. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for talking to me like a 2-year-old because I needed
Uh,
that. I was
well,
just,
sometimes, yeah, sometimes I need, and what I did last week while I was working at the hospital, in between breaks, I got a book from the library. I'm still a nerd. I love to read on the UK court system so that I could understand better. So I was
right.
reading all the breakdowns of this, that, and the other. But it's
Ah, okay.
supposed to be good.
Thank you so much. I
You're
appreciate it,
welcome.
my dear. So I
And
look out,
squatties,
we're looking
yep,
out for
just
tomorrow. Would you be on
yep, keep.
tomorrow?
Yes, I'm all. I haven't been called in, so I'll be home. I'll be up early. I'm gonna start trying to get the updates first thing in the morning. Because remember, they're what, 5 hours ahead of us.
Exactly. Yeah.
So when it's noon here, it's 5 o'clock there. So I'm gonna get up early, like at 7, so that I can start getting the opening of the
Fantastic,
cases and
fantastic.
start
And
making
so I will
snippets.
come on about around the same time, about 12 tomorrow as well, so we can
Okay,
get as much part out of it as possible. So thank you so much, my
you
love.
are welcome.
Thank
And
you.
just keep them in your
Bye.
prayers. Keep them in your prayers because
Yes.
it was alluded today in court that it's going to be a no holds bar. They're going to question him on everything,
Mm-hmm.
everything,
Yep.
everything. Not just stuff in the court cases. They can actually question him on stuff outside of
Mm,
what's in this court case, just to get a background. Yes, a
right.
history.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's gonna be savage.
It
So
is.
keep
And
keep
I
Harry
learned
and
from
them
just,
in your prayers.
yeah, so just, yeah, just from, just paying attention to Andrew Green, I was like, ooh, Harry's gonna be he needs that rest today. So yeah.
hmm
So
Well, bye,
anyway,
squaddies. Bless everyone. Amazing on the kaboom. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. Um,
yes.
on all of that. And you all have a wonderful day.
Oh, you too, my love. Talk to you
All right.
tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Leslie. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all of the wonderful update. Thank you so much. Justy is like, thank you, Leslie. Thank you for the amazing update. Yes, I feel the same. I think we all feel the same. And tomorrow, we'll come back on around the same time so we can get, as much info from the day in court, Harry's day in court. And again, as Leslie said, please pray for Harry because again, first time in 100 and something years that a someone from the royal family would be on the witness stand. But even if he wasn't in the royal family, it's a big deal, and I can't imagine how stressful it would be. And so just please pray for him in every way. So yeah, let's see a couple more before we I'll bring on the last thing I was going to talk about. Kanita says that maybe the King Queen Council, but they have to stick to the law. David Sherborne, Harry's barrister, is more intelligent than all of them, but he was Diana's divorce lawyer. He will never be given KC. Oh, okay. There you go. I didn't realize he was Diana's divorce lawyer. Thank you so much. I didn't realize that. Things I learned today. So there you go. Let's see. Compton Caligal says, seems like William settling didn't want Harry to participate in the settlement to keep him broke and hanging around to be his scapegoat. It's really weird that he settled and for different court case, which is the son. This is Harry's case against the son, that William settled with the son, but yet they were telling Harry that he couldn't. It's just really weird that they wouldn't want him to go up against them when they did the same thing. It's just, yeah, I could get, $1 million settlement if that's what he got, but Harry, you can't. Let's see. Justy says, just amazing. Wait, did I read this before? Just amazing that Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan have undertaken here. Wow, the truth will set you free. I'm telling you, going against the royal family, the government, the press in the UK, I mean, it takes a lot of chutzpah to do what they have done. And it is just, yeah. Prayers needed. Prayers needed. Let's see. Let's see a couple more before we do. Connie, thank you, Connie. Yep, Leslie was absolutely amazing. Yes, thank you, Leslie, from all of us. Let's see. Laverne says, so proud of what Harry and the others are doing. I hope they bring the house down and all the demon vipers. We are all hoping for that. Bring down the mess that is in the UK. And again, Harry is really about changing the, changes in the press. They're very much support a free press, a free and fair press. But what the UK, they don't have journalism in the UK at all. It's really sick what is going on there. Mrs. S says, Harry trained in the military to face being kidnapped by the enemy. Being in the witness stand is going to be a cakewalk. That is very true. That, serving serving in Afghanistan. And, you're right. Yeah. And Harry talked about some of this in his in Spare. And so, yeah, he is definitely trained for any kind of stuff. But I'm still not going to minimize what it's like to be cross-examined in front of a public about your personal life. That is, some people would rather go to war than to have to do that. So, yeah. Let's see. Oh, grinning saying, Leslie, you're the best. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Leslie. Let's see. Karen Warner. Hi, Karen. Karen says, this is the reason he put all he did in Spare, because it can come up in court. So there's no surprises and bombshells. There you go. Exactly. Karen M says, can they ask Harry about his visa? I have no idea. I don't think so, but who knows? I don't know. I don't think it has anything to do with this at all, so probably not. Let's see. Matilda says, many misunderstand the fact that Harry only withdrew from royal duties, but he was born royal, so he remains royal, and by marriage, Meghan is also royal. Very true. Very, very, very true. Let's see. So finally, actually, the final thing I want to talk about is this. A couple of days ago, we actually put this we talked about this a couple of days ago. Was the anniversary, and this was the Jubilee last year. The Queen had invited, the late Queen had invited Harry and Meghan to, because they were also again celebrating her birthday. And so we remember these iconic pictures with Harry and Meghan going in and to the service, and in the city of London, they had it there, and that iconic walk down. And I was trying to find better pictures with the walk down, and for some reason I couldn't find them. What happens when you're rushing to try to find pictures? You can't find the one you want. But we remember that, and them walking in the church, and everybody's looking at them. Some people smile, some people, their face like thunder looking at them. The one that approved of them and the ones that didn't. But it was very iconic watching them walk down there. And so Nadine, we remember Nadine doing a wonderful poem, and which she sent me, which I'll play that poem next episode. But she also sent this one, and it was just really, really awesome, and it references this. So I'm gonna play Nadine's poem, and hopefully you can hear it, and that references this. So
you have won. They rose like a phoenix out of the ashes. Did you all see Harry? Did you all see Meghan when it all began? They were smiling, they were shining as they entered triumphantly. Back in that place into the den of vipers and backbiters, head held high, shoulders back, she stood tall, and that wasn't all, for all the world to see. What a glee! From the time they entered, they were not tempered. People cheered as they glared. She put one step up those stairs, and did you all see the rear? Oh, she sashayed as she glided, headed by her husband. They were shining, that nearly got us blinded. When she got inside the chapel, that was such an apple. To see them going down that aisle, that was so wild. With their own procession, that tells me this is true success on. The way they walked down that aisle in style gave us all a big smile. I too cried. Then there was a great hush. This was a big plus because everyone started staring. That was so glaring. They went and sat in the second row with people looking like a crow. Even Kate had to take a look. You couldn't read this from a book. She said, "Oh, wow," with a big scowl. "Did you see that, Joel?" They settled in their seat with just a few greets. You could see the relief on her face as she smiled inside and out and admitted, "I am no clout," because she not only came there to bear, but also to slay and did not care. The outfit that says "Take that, you bitch." It was so exquisite, so elegant, so glam. Damn, that made her shun. I could go on, indescribable, yet so desirable. When the time came to walk out, we knew without a doubt that they had conquered those dragons, and we were glad that they had it on. We were told they would not be on the balcony, but that was such a load of baloney, because as someone truly said, wherever Meghan and Harry was, that was indeed the balcony, and that was so funny. They came, they conquered, and did not falter. They slaughtered. Meghan and Harry, well done, for you have won. You have won. They rose like a...
So I hope everyone heard that. I did it as loud as I could. So if you could give me a little thumbs up and let me know that you heard the poem. But thank you so much, Nadine, for your wonderful poem celebrating this, Harry and Meghan triumphant visit or entry into Leslie heard it. Awesome poem. Okay, great, you guys heard it. Great, because for some reason the volume on my end just goes down, and it's just I can't get it up for some reason. And so awesome, everyone heard it. Good. So Nadine, thank you for your wonderful poem. And so next episode I will play the other one that she sent me. So great job. And Ms. Nadine, thank you so much for sharing your creativity, your art with us. I appreciate, and all everyone is like, lovely poem. It's beautiful. Yep. Some kudos to Leslie, to Nadine, Mara. They are like appreciating your poem. So thank you so much for sharing that with us, and also celebrating. And again, this iconic look. I mean, hello. I love it. I love it. And all in Dior. So there you go. And I am definitely looking forward to Meghan and Harry, because we've seen Harry in Dior as well. Having some kind of partnership with Dior where they just dress them in, just everything Dior. So there you go. So definitely. So some more thank yous. Thank you from our awesome moderator, Lydia. And Connie is appreciating. So there you go. So yeah, absolutely. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thank you, Leslie, for giving us all the updates for what's going on in the courts. Again, tomorrow I will come on around the same time, around 12, so that we give them enough time so we can get as much information as possible coming out of court tomorrow. And so we look forward to hearing from Leslie tomorrow. And thank you all so much for hanging out with me. Thank you to our awesome moderators. Thank you to our awesome moderators, Lydia, Trish, Nelly, Karen M, Cookies and Cream. I appreciate it so much for your, keeping our space safe and all of that wonderful stuff. I know Mashar is Mashar, you're asking a question there. Let's see. Petal, with Nadine permission, can you post the poem on our community page so we can read it again? I only have it on audio. So Nadine, you can send me an email if you want, if you would permit that. And if you want to set, and if you permit it, then if you'd like to send the poem, the written poem, so then I could place it in our community page, that would be great. Or if I could probably just place audio as well. So I will check that out as well. So let me know, Nadine, send me an email and let me know if that's okay. But yeah, cool. See, other people want to just have access to it as well. So, but thank you so much to our awesome moderators. Thank you so much to our 2 Cents crew who support the channel on a monthly basis. I appreciate your guys' support so much. Thank you to our awesome 2 Cents crew, and to our Gold Star supporters who support here in the chat. As you can see, who support either super thanks, super chat, super stickers, donations, or support via PayPal or Cash App or merchandise. Thank you all so very much. I appreciate every single one of you. And again, I'm going to put my little banner. If you are not subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe, and definitely keep click the notification bell so you know when we drop a video. And please like and share the video. And if you're able, join our 2 Cents crew. Thank you guys so much. I love you all. I appreciate you hanging out with me for an hour and 37 minutes. And I will talk to you later. And again, please keep the Sussexes in your prayers. Please keep Harry in your prayers. He will need it for tomorrow. So definitely our prayer warrior group. So thank you all so much. I love you all. And I will see you and chat with you tomorrow.